This show will never stop tugging on our heartstrings. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Queer Eye Season 4 moments.
Oh my gosh, I see it!
Is it a corgi?
Oh my gosh!
Someone told me that there was gonna be a corgi.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the Fab Five's more memorable encounters from the 4th season of the Netflix hit.
Now, kitty that walk.
Number 10. The Pep Rally. This season started out with a bang as Jonathan returns to his high school in Quincy, Illinois to make over his old music teacher.
Hold on, I can't stop. There's nerves happening. You're a little nervous.
I am a little nervous.
It's coming! Oh!
Oh my god. Okay, it's totally fine. Why am I crying? It's totally fine. Oh
the Fab Five arrive in style, bursting into the gym in the middle of a Blue Devils pep rally. With the show in its 4th season, the kids treat the guys like the celebrities they are. As the others cheer on from the stands, Jonathan joins in with the cheerleaders and does their routine.
White, blue, 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 who are you? Blue and white, Quincy high school, all right.
Oh my gosh! You still got it! You still got it!
In typical Queer Eye fashion, things quickly get sentimental, as Jonathan gives a small speech about the importance of dedicated educators.
You continue to change lives, and I really want to celebrate you. And I also want to celebrate the fact that I'm going to be cutting your hair.
Number 9. Kenny opens up to Karamo.
You hit it right on the head. That's been the problem. It really has. So I'm sorry about that.
No, do not feel sorry, you know what I mean? Like, come on, give me a hug, man.
Despite being beloved by family, friends, and his whole Croatian community, Kenny has been isolating himself. He hasn't let anybody visit his house for 15 years. He gradually opens up to Karamo, who finds out that Kenny thinks he's a failure for not achieving the same things his siblings have achieved.
Went off with their lives and then just took off. You know, and I just stayed at one pattern all my life.
Karamo tells Kenny he's not a failure, and he has plenty of people who want to spend time with him and be around him.
Don't compare yourself to them anymore. You are not a failure. You're not a failure.
I can just cry right now.
Karamo is proven right at the end of the episode when Kenny's big extended family come to the house for the first time in decades. He even gives them their own keys. Number 8. John talks about his depression.
Just haven't been getting as much enjoyment out of things as I used to.
Have you been feeling depressed or sad or?
Yeah, it could be because of, exercise or waking up early and maybe just laying in bed and on the couch all the time. It just keeps feeding off itself and making me want to do that some more, so.
Yeah.
Karamo gets to the bottom of why John isn't being as present for his daughter as he should be after John confesses he's been suffering from depression. John got into health difficulties and had to cut down on alcohol, which meant he lost his coping mechanism.
I could smile through. I was smiling on, doing hard work or whatever. I can keep smiling through it, but that doesn't always tell you what's going on, back behind everything.
He's in a funk where he's not able to look after Lucy properly, though he stresses that he's trying to get back on track. Karamo convinces John to talk to Julie, his ex-wife, which he eventually does.
I think you would feel so supported if people just knew that, no, it's not that I'm shutting off. I'm just trying to get myself together.
She tells him she's always there to talk if he needs help.
I'm really proud of you. I didn't know all that.
Yeah. So it's
Maybe you
tough.
could talk to me. We're still friends.
I know.
And we can help you.
These moments go a long way in reducing the stigma around mental health, especially in men. Number 7. Wanda steps down.
Wanda's world is the Python's drill team. I live it, I drink it, I eat it, I sleep it.
Over the course of the episode, it becomes clear that Wanda is spending too much time with the Python's drill team and not enough with herself and her 2 daughters.
I want you to just call us and be like, what you doing today, or how are you doing today? Like that kind of stuff.
So are you saying that I've just been boring? don't want to do anything if it's not drill team.
While nobody suggests that she should ever step down, especially not when she's been so important to the team and to the community she helps by running it, she stuns everybody by doing just that.
As of today, I will be taking a step back to deal with my administration.
After a long time at the helm, she hands the baton to the creative and music directors Gregory and Joe respectively, trusting them to keep it going. She does point out that she's just stepping back and not leaving completely though.
And if you mess up my drill team, I know where you live, I know your phone number. There it is.
Number 6. Brandon talks about medical leave.
Yeah.
And then all my friends were kind of like, you're a faker, you just want to go home. That sent me down in more of a spiral.
After joining the Army at a young age, rising up through the ranks and serving his country was all Brandon wanted to do. But the first time he was deployed in Afghanistan, he fell from a large height and suffered a traumatic brain injury, meaning he had to be discharged on medical grounds in his early 20s. He talks about how hard it is dealing with an invisible injury, and people accusing him of being a coward and faking, as well as the difficulties of adjusting to civilian life.
I literally started praying that I would get in a car accident, I would lose my arm, I would lose my leg, so people would look at me like, okay, yeah, I get it.
You have this invisible injury that people can't see.
Karamo tells him he needs to stop judging himself so he can become a better man and let go of the past.
Who told you that you're failing?
I did.
Number 5. Lucy wins her competition. With the show's profile always increasing, the things they can do to help their heroes get more and more impressive. Getting Michelle Kwan, the most decorated American figure skater of all time, to give a private lesson to John's daughter Lucy was just one string they pulled. It certainly paid off though, as Lucy triumphed at the end of the episode and actually won in the individual free skate category at Fall Fling.
And in first place, Lucy Stoner.
John's encouragement goes a long way, as he finally learns what to take note of and how to support her.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to try to do better on things and be around more, okay? Yeah, you like that plan?
Number 4. Deanna discusses racism.
When we bought the house, my husband was assumed he was the worker, not the homeowner. There's been some passive aggressiveness of, racist things that have been said.
Yeah.
This episode's hero is a proud Chicana woman, and she starts out by explaining the battle between the two parts of her life, saying she lives in a world where she's both not white enough and not Mexican enough.
Because along with the not knowing Spanish and then not knowing how to make traditional Mexican food, it's just a continuous of I can't do it and I'm not who I am.
Later, she talks to Karamo about more of the racism she faces in America today, especially because she lives in a predominantly white neighborhood. One especially painful story she tells involves one of her neighbors making a joke about, quote, the Mexicans are building their own wall, after her husband worked hard to build a wall to fix some water damage.
I've been hit on the back of the back with a broom by a man in Walmart that was like, you need to get out of this country.
Number 3. Wesley forgives the man who shot him.
We live in a place where we all strapped. We don't care as long as we're trying to protect somebody that we love.
7 years before the episode began, Wesley was shot and ended up paralyzed and wheelchair-bound. He says repeatedly that getting paralyzed made him into the man he is today, but he still wants to know why he was shot at all. With Wesley's blessing, Karamo sets up a meeting with Maurice, the man who shot him, then recently released from prison. Maurice finally explains that he shot Wesley because he thought he had a gun and was going to shoot him first.
If it was the other way around, I probably would react the same way you did.
I didn't imagine you seeing it from that perspective. Like, it was no malice in my heart.
Wesley understands and forgives him, and they go straight from this scene to him exploring his new accessible house. He gained freedom in more than one way that week.
We're 2 black men, and we're doing something that they don't want us to do. And that is forgive each other, but also uplift each other.
Number 2. Jonathan's heart-to-heart with Kathy Dooley. Jonathan has mentioned a few times throughout the show's run that he had a hard time in high school, And plenty of difficult memories clearly swim to the surface during this episode.
I was very excited to come, but I was also very nervous.
One of the most heartfelt scenes is when he sits alone with Mrs. Dooley and tells her just how much a teacher who accepted him meant.
But one thing that you did, for me and other kids like me, is you always treated me the same as if I was like anyone else.
She starts out by telling him how proud of him she is, and he tells her how important she was to him growing up in a homophobic environment.
You have literally saved people's lives, like mine included. That is big words that I just said, so I just want you to be able to keep giving back to yourself so that you can keep doing what you love to do.
After this, the second most healing moment in the episode was when he finally got to cut her hair and ditch the mullet. Season 4 was kind of Karamo season. We can all agree he went deep with each of the heroes. What a season! There's one moment that I couldn't handle in the slightest, but let's just enjoy these honorable mentions first because I love Jonathan's scream so much.
I really struggled. And it knocked my confidence a lot. It's not easy for me to be able to say, this is me, this is what I represent. It's a process, and you will know this better than anybody. Some days it's really hard.
Here you go, Piggy. Piggy, no! Oh my God.
Pretty baby.
All of y'all gonna get rabies, and I'm not gonna be the one. See, this is how the outbreak happens. The outbreak happens, and everybody catches it, and then they're looking at me like, why doesn't Karamo have it? Because I didn't touch none of these dirty-ass animals. Piggy's a piggy.
Look at me, Tanny.
In the heart of the city, because that is where you and your foundation belong.
I don't even know what to say. Just to see the name with that logo,
When someone says to me, pumpkin cookies, homemade, sirens go off, everything ceases to exist.
Wait, let me finish.
When we were cutting those off, I feel like you were that felt like a moment.
I wanted to be normal, and I thought like having that same look would make me feel like who I used to be. And now, since I've embraced
You're proud of it.
Number 1, Antony sniffs a peach. Our favorite chef gives us an invaluable look at his process as he examines a peach in the store. Just joking, our real top pick is Number 1, Kenny adopts a dog. While exploring Kenny's house, they discover that his faithful dog died unexpectedly just a few months earlier, and Kenny can't bear to get rid of his dog's things.
Why have you still kept the bowl and things?
Good question. I don't know. I should get rid of that.
Antony and Jonathan make it their mission to help Kenny recover by taking him to a shelter to see if he bonds with any of the rescue dogs. It's love at first sight with Kenny and Akio, a stray Labrador chow mix.
I'm overwhelmed. I want to cry.
It's okay.
He reminds me of my last dog. God, I like that dog.
After taking Akio on just a short walk, Kenny decides he's going to adopt him, taking him home that day.
Hi, buddy. Hi, how you doing? You good? You good doggy? Yeah, you good doggy. You gonna be my doggy?
The cherry on top is him renaming Akio Fab 5 after the men who changed his life. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.